I remember winning the Nationals in 1985 as a middleweight, and then setting my sights on my pro debut in New York City, which was the IFBB Night of the Champions in 1986. And that was the forerunner to the New York Pro at the time. And I remember training up for that show. I put on a few pounds of quality muscle, but I was really just testing the waters. Because I will tell you that when I got backstage for the first time and I saw these guys up close, it was like going to the zoo for the first time. It was like lions and elephants and tigers, oh my. It's just such a massive difference going from the amateur ranks to the professional ranks. Most pros, their bone structures are bigger, their shoulders are wider, their waists are smaller, their muscle bellies are longer, they're much bigger, and it was just amazing. And I had no idea how I would do against that lineup. I was actually competing against guys that I had seen in muscle magazines for years, and so it was a bit, I wouldn't call it intimidating, but it was a bit like, well, we'll see how I stack up against these guys. And lo and behold, the way that I started being moved around and prejudging, I was surprised because I could tell that I was going to be in the top three. And then later on that night, when the results came in and I had actually won the show, I have to tell you that I was surprised, thrilled, but surprised.
I think that it's important to keep in mind that bodybuilding is multifaceted. It isn't just the quest for the most massive man. It is a quest for the most perfect man. So that man is going to be a combination of classical symmetry, proportion, and mass, and ripped. And that is what I'm after, all of the above.
No, yeah, I mean, I'll touch on what he was talking on, amateur to professional. Obviously, I haven't ticked the box of first professional contest yet, but, him talking about going backstage for the first time and seeing, like lions and tigers and bears and stuff, 100% agree. The first time I ever went backstage at a pro contest, that's what it was like. But, because, thank you, he's awesome, that was a long time ago. So I've been fortunate enough to be backstage at a lot of pro contests. I've been fortunate enough to help out, Pat at this last Arnold, got to see all the guys backstage at the Arnold, so I've seen the best of the best up close. And, it's funny, I always tell people, at first it was very discouraging seeing them up close because it's like, holy crap, how am I ever going to get there? And then, it's like it was like a decade ago, right? And, every single year that goes by, it's like, okay, it's a little more, I can do that, okay. It seems a little more possible, and, it's like, and now, seeing people backstage at pro shows, it's like, okay, I can get in this mix. So it's given me some confidence getting to see people before, I'm heading to my first pro show. And I think that's a big difference, because even if I hadn't been backstage at a pro show before, the day and age we live in, it's very open. Everyone's very accessible. You can kind of see what people are working with. Now, I know Instagram pictures are different than real life. We all know that. But, it's like people don't just come out of nowhere and like come out from the woodwork and, just decimate people anymore. Typically you know about people and typically you know who's going to be, like good heading into a show. Yeah, and then another, parallel that he talked about, that I'm definitely has been on my mind a lot was, he said, I've been, I competed against all these guys I was seeing in, like, the muscle magazines. Well, me, I'm going to be getting on stage with, people that I've been following, since I was in high school on the bodybuilding forums, So, same thing, just different age. There's a lot of guys, that are still doing it well, that, were getting started or had been established already, when I was 18 or 19 years old. So, it is going to be a little bit surreal in a very cool way, getting to stand shoulder to shoulder with a lot of those guys, and that's something I'm really looking forward to. It's not like one of those things like everyone that I looked up to when I first got into the sports, done and gone. A lot of them are still doing it, so it'll be cool to get to do it with them, be part of that brotherhood. I'm looking forward to that a lot. Gotta love freshies. Gotta love the fresh. Push day. What I enjoy doing is helping people, not, like in a personal training standpoint, but, teaching people how to fish, if that makes sense. Instead of giving them the fish, teaching them how to fish. And, really, getting into the in-depth, like, exercise cues and biomechanics and stuff is something that I really enjoy and that I get a kick out of, and that really is what I feel is responsible for completely transforming my physique in the last 2 or 3 years. So, being able to kind of impart that and pass it on and, have people really buy into it and like it and receive a lot of positive feedback has been a very, very cool thing. Last weekend in Dallas, we were on that Incline Prime, which is by far my favorite incline machine made. This week we're on the seated Arsenal flat chest press, and this is probably by far my favorite flat machine variation. So you'll see what we do here. We'll work up to a heavy straight set, and then we'll actually do the back off set. We'll actually add bands. Shout out Brad Holt at Arsenal Strength for sending me a restock. But yeah, we'll do the back off sets with bands. So I love this machine. Come on. Yep. Good.
2 weeks ago, the last time, or 10 days ago when I did this, I did 7.5 plates for 15. So today I went up to 8 plates. I only got 5 reps, but I need to move up. So that's why I turned into a rest pause set. So I'll do the rest pause until I get closer to 10, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. So that's why my top set was a little bit different, was because I'm somewhere in the middle of the weight of where I should be using in this machine.
Perfect, Brian. Come on. Go. Own it in the hole. Don't let it take off. Go. 2. He's 2. Go. One more good one. One more good one. Come on, Ryan. Press. 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 Good. When we're warming up, the only goal that we have is to safely reach our top weight with as little energy expenditure as possible, while priming the neural pathway and while priming all the muscle to move and really having the exercise and the motion locked in. So what does that look like? With lighter weights like the 1 plate and the 2 plate, we really play around with the tempo. We really do slow negatives. We really feel the muscle working. We do higher reps. We really actually use the weight to put some blood in the muscle. When we get up to, the 5, 6, 7 plates, because I'm going to work up to 8 plates for my top set. So I know that. I've worked in this machine before. That's pretty key to this, actually, is knowing the weight you want to work up to. If you don't, that makes it a little more difficult. But this is an exercise we do very regularly and one that I track, so I know what I want to end up at. So as the weight goes up, the reps go down, and they go from being, like feeler reps or put blood in their reps, or, just like slow altered reps, to exactly like you want to do them on your top set. Practice like you play it with the heavier loads that are still sub-maximal. We want to do the reps exactly like we want to do them for our top set. So everything's locked in. The tempo is what we want on our top set.
The only thing that's not there is the load. So when we work up to the top set load, we're ready to rock and roll. The previous sets before the top sets, especially the one right before, I'll probably end up hitting 6 or 7 plates, but I'll only end up doing 2 or 3 reps. Like I said, the goal is to get to the top weight safely with as little energy expenditure as possible. I don't want to do any work before it's actually time to work. Let's go. Oh! Another one. One more. Good. To be perfectly blunt, I'm not scared, like, at all. You know, I've done my homework. I know I have what it takes to do well. I know it's just on me to execute, and I like that because I know I can execute. So, I mean, it's just a matter of me keeping my head down and, you know, taking care of business and coming in like I need to. And I think I'll do very well, you know. I'm not scared. Like I said, it's an exciting thing for me, you know. It's you know, kind of like a coming into my own thing for me, I guess. So I feel like that's where I belong. That's been the goal, you know, since I started, since I you know, stopped playing football at 18 years old and said I wanted to bodybuild. The whole goal is to compete as a pro and be a great pro, not just, you know, get a pro card or something. So, you know, that's this is, you know, I'm excited.
There we go.
Shoot a fucking beat. Come on. Good. Finally have another. It's been a while too. You know, it's been a while since I've competed. It's you know, I've had basically 2 years to think about it at this point. So it's I'm excited. There's not any apprehension, fear, scared, nothing. I'm just ready to get it done. I'm excited for the next 7 weeks for sure.
I'll tell you this: he has size, he has symmetry. He's got a small waist. He's got wide shoulders. He's got a complete physique. No weaknesses. Okay, you know, can we improve? Absolutely. Anybody can improve, right? You'd be a fool to think not. However, he's got a complete physique, and I'm gonna tell you that if he comes in hard and dry, he wins. He's a real threat. He wins.